here is LeBron James. How does it feel to know that if you're not eventually a Hall of Fame caliber player, it's not good enough to be good or an all-star. If you're not eventually a first-rank Hall of Famer, a lot of people will say you were a bust or overhyped.
How does that make me feel?
Yeah.
I always say that I just try to get better every day at what I do.
These words, spoken to a teenage kid who hadn't played a single NBA minute, capture the impossible expectations placed on LeBron James' shoulders. No athlete in history has faced such scrutiny before even starting their professional career. Yet somehow, LeBron didn't just meet these astronomical expectations. He shattered them. 4 championships, 4 MVPs, 4 finals MVPs, and 2 decades of dominance later, we're witnessing something unprecedented. A player who had the weight of the sports world on his back before he could even vote, and still managed to exceed every wild prediction made about him. In February 2002, Sports Illustrated made an unprecedented decision. They placed a high school junior on their cover, something they'd never done before. The headline read, "The Chosen One," forever altering the trajectory of 17-year-old LeBron James's life. While young phenoms existed before, from Tiger Woods to Lou Alcindor to Bryce Harper, none faced the tsunami of expectations that engulfed LeBron. The hype surrounding LeBron wasn't just basketball folklore. It manifested in tangible ways that transformed high school basketball.
James has created such a buzz that his team can no longer play here in its own gym. It's too small. They now play their home games at the University of Akron, where the capacity is about 6,000.
On December 22nd, 2002, ESPN nationally broadcasted his matchup against Oak Hill Academy.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Treating a high school contest like primetime NBA. And LeBron didn't disappoint, putting up 31 points and upsetting the #1 team in the nation. The business world recognized LeBron's marketing potential before he scored a single NBA point. A bidding war erupted between shoe companies that dwarfed anything seen for an unproven athlete. At 18, he turned down $10 million from Reebok. Nike ultimately secured his endorsement with a staggering $90 million deal, the largest rookie shoe contract in history. This wasn't just unusual, it was revolutionary. The psychological weight would crush most teenagers.
Well, simply put, Dan, LeBron James is the best high school basketball player I have ever seen. And I think as a 17-year-old, he's better than Kobe Bryant was at the same age.
These weren't hopes, they were expectations, with anything less constituting failure. But not everyone believed. Skeptics pointed to history. How could anyone survive such pressure? As one anonymous NBA executive told ESPN, no kid should have to carry the burden of being the savior of a franchise, especially one who can't even vote yet. LeBron's approach to handling this pressure revealed something extraordinary about his mental composition. While most teenagers might become consumed by the attention, James maintained remarkable self-awareness. This psychological resilience wasn't taught. It seemed innate. Where others saw pressure, LeBron saw opportunity.
By just doing what I know how to do.
How much pressure do you feel?
There's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. I've been getting pressure since I was 10 years old. I don't think there's no pressure for me because I'm doing something that I love to do. That's play the game of basketball.
When media scrutiny intensified, he learned to compartmentalize. When expectations mounted, he channeled them into work ethic. This mental approach wasn't just unusual for a teenager, it was exceptional for any athlete at any age. LeBron's exceptional mental approach had certainly served him well during his early career. But what happens when even extraordinary talent meets the immovable object of impossible expectations? Despite his individual brilliance, James soon discovered that carrying an entire franchise required more than physical gifts or mental fortitude. It demanded something that no 19-year-old, regardless of talent, could possibly possess. The weight of Cleveland's championship drought, a city starving for glory since 1964, grew heavier with each playoff appearance. In 2007, LeBron dragged a severely undermanned Cavaliers squad to the NBA Finals, only to be swept by the experienced San Antonio Spurs. The image of James scoring 29 of his team's final 30 points against Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals had demonstrated his individual greatness, but also highlighted a painful truth. One man, no matter how talented, couldn't overcome championship-caliber teams alone. As seasons passed, the narrative shifted. Early praise for James' otherworldly performances transformed into criticism about his inability to get it done in crucial moments. The mounting pressure created a crucible that would forever alter LeBron's career trajectory. On July 8, 2010, the decision aired on ESPN, capturing a cultural moment that transcended sports. In an instant, hometown hero became public enemy as James uttered those infamous words.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
The televised announcement, while drawing massive ratings, struck many as a betrayal of the city that had embraced him. Even LeBron himself has stated that he regretted the way he went about it. The reaction was swift and visceral. Images of burning jerseys filled television screens nationwide. Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert released a scathing open letter, personally attacking James. The letter, filled with bitter accusations, reflected the deep emotional wound James's departure had inflicted on Cleveland. Overnight, the most beloved athlete in Ohio became the NBA's premier villain. This stunning reversal forced James to confront an entirely new challenge, navigating a hostile environment where every move faced intense scrutiny. Through this trial by fire, LeBron evolved both as a player and person. The criticisms that once seemed unfair became fuel for transformation. The pressure that might have broken lesser athletes instead forged something more valuable than physical dominance: strategic intelligence and emotional resilience. The resilience LeBron developed through years of criticism would face its ultimate test not in Miami, but back in Cleveland. After 4 seasons and 2 championships with the Heat, James made the shocking decision to return home in 2014.
The king is back. The city of Cleveland needs this. Welcome home, LeBron. Now, let's win that championship.
This wasn't just a career move. It was a hero's return to complete unfinished business in a city desperate for redemption. The true magnitude of this challenge crystallized in the 2016 NBA Finals. The Cavaliers weren't just facing any opponent. They were up against the Golden State Warriors, a team that had shattered NBA records with an unprecedented 73-9 regular season. Led by Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, these Warriors represented perhaps the most formidable obstacle in NBA Finals history. When Golden State surged to a commanding 3-1 series lead, the situation appeared hopeless. No team had ever overcome such a deficit in finals history. For Cleveland fans who had endured a 52-year championship drought across all sports, this seemed like yet another cruel chapter in their tortured relationship with victory. Sports analysts declared the series effectively over, with the Warriors' second consecutive championship all but guaranteed. What followed was the kind of comeback that transforms legends into myths. The Cavaliers, led by a fully evolved LeBron, reeled off 3 consecutive victories against a team that had lost consecutive games only once all season. In Game 5, James and Kyrie Irving each scored 41 points in a road victory that kept hope alive. Game 6 saw another dominant Cleveland performance, forcing a Game 7 on Golden State's home court. The decisive game showcased moments that would define LeBron's legacy. With the score tied at 89 and less than 2 minutes remaining, he executed what is now simply known as the block.
It was one of the loudest sounds I ever heard.
Boom! Oh, blocked by James! LeBron James with the rejection!
And allowed Kyrie to close the door with his iconic 3 over Steph.
Curry catches one dribble, steps back, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound tip taken by Spades. Final seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
The final buzzer triggered half a century of pent-up emotion across Northeast Ohio. LeBron collapsed to the floor, overcome with emotion, having delivered on his promise to bring a championship to his hometown. The celebration that followed united a city that had known only disappointment, with over 1 million people flooding downtown Cleveland for a parade that represented collective catharsis.
And I just kept that same positive attitude, like, instead of saying, why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
This championship fundamentally altered the narrative surrounding LeBron's career. No longer was he the talented star who abandoned his hometown or the player who couldn't win the big one. He had now accomplished what seemed impossible, ending Cleveland's championship drought by defeating perhaps the greatest regular season team in NBA history after trailing 3-1. The Cleveland championship was just one chapter in an epic that refuses to conclude. While most athletes inevitably decline after reaching their peak, LeBron has defied the fundamental laws of sports mortality. The same teenager who graced Sports Illustrated's cover as the chosen one continues to dominate the NBA 2 decades later. This longevity becomes even more remarkable when you consider the fate of his 2003 draft class peers. Not a single player from that celebrated draft is still playing, besides James, a testament to both his physical conditioning and basketball intelligence. Among countless other records, LeBron James has the most points in NBA history and is the only player to have 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. LeBron's basketball evolution represents perhaps his most impressive achievement. He entered the league as a physical phenomenon relying primarily on athleticism and raw power. But with each passing season, he methodically added new dimensions to his game. His court vision evolved from excellent to extraordinary. His shooting range extended beyond the arc. His defensive anticipation sharpened. Rather than allowing the changing NBA to render him obsolete, LeBron adapted to each new era. This adaptability carried him to Los Angeles, where he accomplished what many considered impossible, leading a third team to championship glory. The 2020 Lakers title silenced any remaining critics as James joined the most historic franchise that was coming off of 5 straight losing seasons and led them to an unprecedented championship during a global pandemic.
And I want my damn respect too.
Yet James's most enduring legacy may ultimately lie off the court. The I Promise School epitomizes his commitment to community transformation, providing comprehensive support to at-risk students through educational programs. Simultaneously, LeBron has redefined what it means to be an athlete in the business world. That $90 million Nike deal in high school, he turned that into a $1 billion deal in 2015. As Doc Rivers once stated,
I think he's overachieved, you know. You think about it, I don't know if there's ever been a player that had as much buildup as him coming in the league back. But LeBron, I don't know if this was not his best year, you know, and so he keeps getting better.
This statement captures the extraordinary nature of James's journey. The impossible expectations that would have crushed most prospects somehow became merely the foundation for even greater achievements. So the story of LeBron James continues to unfold before our eyes.
That's what it's all about right here.
From the chosen one to the undisputed king, LeBron has crafted a legacy that transcends basketball. With the spotlight on him since he was a kid in Akron, Ohio, James shattered the ceiling of possibility by handling the heaviest expectations ever placed on an athlete, then soaring beyond them. After being called the next Michael Jordan while still in high school, LeBron didn't just meet the impossible hype, he conquered it. At 40 years old and still playing at an elite level, his reign isn't over just yet.
You know, it's great, and I'm gonna just keep working hard, and someday it could be another one that could be compared to me.